Hello everyone. Today is the last day of World Breastfeeding Week 2026. The purpose of observing the World Breastfeeding Week is to promote breastfeeding at all levels, and theme of this year is to promote those factors which strengthen the breastfeeding at workplace and home. So why the breastfeeding is in a crisis situation? We have observed that over the last 50 to 60 years, the so-called development in our society has posed a lot of challenges on the woman. There is lack of support in the family because the families are now nuclear families. Plus, there is additional stress of going to the job. And as we pediatricians say, exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, this poses a very great deal of stress on the mothers. So we have to collectively find out the factors which can reduce the stress of the mother at home as well as at workplace. So while the governments are doing their bit, they are giving the maternity leaves. Even in the private sector, maternity leave is being given mandatorily by law. But practically, do we see that mothers are efficiently able to handle both the job and the breastfeeding well? And in the homes also, the environment today is such that there is no time with anyone, and the mother has to support the entire home also and the newborn also. So, collectively, the theme of this year is that all the family members should support the breastfeeding mother as far as possible. And when this mother goes to the job, there should be the provisions where the breastfeeding is possible. And with this hope, I have made this video that every breastfeeding week should bring about a change in our attitude so that this very beautiful thing of nature can be promoted far and wide. In this video, you will see a PowerPoint presentation about what are the social, financial, and the health benefits of breastfeeding. I will not talk about the composition of breast milk and technique of breastfeeding, etc. The purpose today in my talk is to understand what are the benefits at a large scale of breastfeeding to a family and to a society. So I will request you to watch this video till the end, and at the end there is a video overview which will summarize the entire talk in 5 to 6 minutes. So thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you. Welcome. Today we are looking at a practice that is often viewed simply as a personal choice, but in reality, a global health imperative is required for breastfeeding. We are examining the clinical, social, and economic impact of breastfeeding. This is not just about infant nutrition, it's about establishing a sustainable foundation for lifelong health and systemic resilience. Our discussion will cover three core pillars. First, we will explore the unmatched 360-degree value of human milk for both infant and mother. Second, we will look at the golden hour, that critical 60-minute window immediately following birth. And finally, we will discuss systemic implementation, moving beyond individual maternal effort to establishing evidence-based protocols that scale success globally. Human milk is dynamic, living tissue. In the first few days, mothers produce colostrum, though small in volume, measured in teaspoons. It is incredibly dense, packed with living immune cells like macrophages and secretory IgA. It acts as baby's first personalized vaccine. As the infant grows, the milk transitions to mature milk, actively changing its nutritional profile to meet the exact developmental needs of the child over the first 6 months. Producing this remarkable substance requires intense biological investment from the mother, demanding an extra 400 to 500 calories every day. The impact of breastfeeding radiates outward across three domains. Clinically, it provides immediate infection prevention for the infant and crucial cancer reduction for the mother. Socially and cognitively, it is linked to higher IQ scores and reduced maternal stress. Financially, the macroeconomic returns are staggering for every nation. It generates roughly 60 to 1 return on investment by reducing the healthcare burdens and boosting long term workforce productivity for any nation. We must view breastfeeding as a dyad intervention, meaning it simultaneously treats two patients, the mother and the baby. For the mother, the immediate release of oxytocin promotes rapid uterine recovery, preventing postpartum hemorrhage while offering long term protection against breast and ovarian cancers. For the infant, it radically reduces the immediate risk of deadly respiratory and ear infections while laying a foundation that lowers the risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes later in life. The cost of failing to support breastfeeding is measured in lives. As this data demonstrates, during the fragile first 2 months of life, the infants who are not breastfed are 6 times more likely to die from infectious diseases like pneumonia and diarrhea compared to exclusively breastfed infants. For preterm babies, formula feeding carries severe risks, including a tenfold risk increase in the likelihood of contracting necrotizing enterocolitis. The baseline risk drops significantly only when the exclusive breastfeeding is maintained. Beyond physical survival, breastfeeding literally builds human capital. Neurologically, the human milk is rich in omega 3 fatty acids, critical for brain development, correlating with higher intelligence quotients later in childhood. Relationally, the close physical proximity regulates the infant's heart rate and breathing, while the maternal oxytocin release actively suppresses maternal stress and reduces the risk of postpartum depression. It creates a deeply regulated, synchronized dyad. This biological investment pays massive economic dividends. Globally, every single dollar invested in breastfeeding promotion generates $59 in economic returns. In Indian terms, we can say every rupee invested gives us 59 rupees in return. Scaling up optimal breastfeeding practices could additionally prevent approximately 4 lakh child deaths and 1 lakh 40,000 maternal deaths every year. To put the savings in perspective, in a country like US alone, optimal breastfeeding would save about $13 billion annually just in excess healthcare costs required to treat preventable childhood illnesses. So, how do we secure these benefits? It starts at minute zero, that is the time of birth. The first 60 minutes after birth is known as the golden hour for breastfeeding. It is a period of intense physiological transition. To protect it, clinical teams must facilitate three things: immediate, uninterrupted skin to skin contact, delayed cord clamping to boost iron stores, and early initiation of breastfeeding. Placing the newborn to breast to instinctively feed before any routine administrative tasks disrupt the process. Skin to skin contact is not just a nice bonding moment, it is a vital physiological cascade too. Birth triggers a massive catecholamine surge, making the newborn highly alert. Placed on mother's chest, olfactory recognition kicks in. The baby recognizes the scent of the breast and begins autonomous searching behaviors. Within about 50 minutes, the infant instinctively finds the breast and latches. This suckling triggers the maternal oxytocin release, facilitating milk letdown and the critical uterine contractions that prevent hemorrhage. When we say the golden hour, we mean it literally. Delaying the initiation of breastfeeding directly costs lives. If initiation happens within the first hour, the mortality risk remains at baseline. If delayed by just 1 hour to 1 day, the risk of neonatal mortality increases by a staggering 43%. If delayed to day's second of life due to any reason, the risk more than doubles. And up to 22% of neonatal deaths could be avoided simply by ensuring the baby is put to breast within the very first hour of life. Early initiation acts as a direct clinical shield against two leading killers of newborns. First, it prevents hypothermia through thermal synchrony. If the baby is cold, the mother's chest temperature automatically rises to warm them. Secondly, the immediate ingestion of colostrum lines the infant's gut with protective substances like secretory IgA, establishing a barrier that prevents the microbial translocation that causes lethal diarrhea. However, early initiation and exclusive breastfeeding cannot rely on a mother's willpower alone. They require an enabling clinical environment too. This is why the WHO and UNICEF launched the Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative or BFHI. It provides a rigorous, evidence based blueprint for maternity services worldwide, with the goal of systematically supporting mothers, fiercely protecting the golden hour, and scaling successful initiation protocols across all delivery settings. BFHI is built on 10 steps to successful breastfeeding. Phase 1 focuses on institutional readiness. It requires facilities to establish a written breastfeeding policy. Step 1, to ensure all healthcare staff are trained in specific skills to implement it, that is step 2, and guarantee that all the pregnant women are informed about the benefits and management of breastfeeding prior to delivery, that is step 3. Moving forward, step 4 is paramount, helping mothers initiating breastfeeding within 1 hour, 1/2 hour of birth, protecting that golden hour. Facilities must also show mothers how to maintain lactation even if separated from their infants. That is step 5. Give newborns no food or drink other than breast milk unless medically indicated. That is step 6. And practice rooming in. That is allowing the mothers and infants to remain together 24 hours a day. That is step 7. Phase 3 is step 8 onwards. This involves encouraging the breastfeeding on demand rather than on a rigid clock schedule, that is step 8. Giving no artificial teats or pacifiers which can disrupt the latch, that is step 9. And finally, coordinating discharge so that the mothers are referred to the established breastfeeding support groups in their communities, step 10. Implementing this requires overcoming entrenched hospital routines. When routine weighing or bedding disrupts skin to skin, the systemic solution is to simply delay all the non urgent tasks for at least 60 minutes. To address privacy concerns from guests entering the room, hospitals must use golden hour in progress signs and utilize curtains. And while medical stabilization always takes precedence, a clear exclusion criteria must be established so that the stable, healthy newborns are not separated from their mothers unnecessarily due to unnecessary administrative tasks. Ultimately, breastfeeding is a multi layered ecosystem. At the center is the mother baby diet, but they must be surrounded by healthcare facilities implementing the BFHI, workplaces enacting comprehensive paid family leave and safe lactation spaces, and a society that strictly enforces the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes to protect families from predatory formula marketing. As the World Health Organization states, breastfeeding is today the single most effective preventive intervention for improving the survival and health of the children. Giving every child the best start in life begins by fiercely protecting their first star. By investing in these evidence based systems, we protect the diet, enrich our society, and secure a healthier, more resilient economic future for us all. Thank you.
For 9 months, a developing infant lives in a tightly controlled, dark, and warm environment. Being born means being abruptly pushed into a world of overwhelming sensory extremes, cold air, and bright lights. To manage this shock, medical professionals prioritize Pela Sunada Ganta, or the golden first hour. Placing the newborn immediately and directly against the mother's bare chest is a physiological requirement that provides the external stabilization the baby needs to adapt to life outside the womb. Because a newborn cannot yet regulate its own body heat, the mother's body compensates automatically. If the baby's temperature drops, the skin on the mother's chest will rise by exactly 2 degrees to actively warm them. That direct physical contact also regulates the baby's rapid heartbeat and stabilizes their blood pressure. As the infant's stress hormones drop, they instinctively begin to seek the breast for their first meal. In those critical first 60 minutes, the mother's chest functions as an external womb, an automatic biological safety mechanism that stabilizes the newborn's most vital systems. The immediate biological reward of successfully latching during this window is a highly specialized fluid, maa ka doodh, ek chamatkar, the miracle of mother's milk. For the first 3 to 4 days after birth, the breasts produce colostrum. This thick, yellowish liquid is packed with leukocytes, white blood cells, and antibodies that immediately coat the infant's intestinal lining, blocking harmful pathogens from entering the bloodstream. This dense liquid also acts as a natural laxative. It helps the newborn clear meconium, their first bodily waste, which significantly reduces the chances of developing jaundice. Many new parents worry because mothers only produce a tiny volume of colostrum during these early days, sometimes just a few teaspoons per feeding. However, a newborn's stomach is incredibly small, and this high-density nutrition provides the exact caloric and protective volume you require. Colostrum functions as a custom-made, highly concentrated first vaccine, establishing an immune foundation that will protect the child long after the first few days of life. The effects of early breastfeeding extend far beyond infancy. Bacche aur maa dono ke liye vardaan, a lifelong benefit for both baby and mother. During their first 2 months, non-breastfed babies are nearly 6 times more likely to die from infectious diseases. Over a lifetime, breastfed children show an average intelligence increase of 6 IQ points, alongside significantly lower rates of high blood pressure, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. The mother experiences immediate physiological recovery benefits as well. The act of breastfeeding triggers contractions that help the uterus return to its normal size rapidly, which decreases postpartum blood loss. Long-term, women who breastfeed develop a persistent biological shield, showing a significantly reduced lifetime risk of developing diseases like breast and ovarian cancers. Scaling up these practices would prevent over 1 million deaths every year, providing a direct, measurable impact on global health and survival. If this biological process is so deeply ingrained in our survival, why do so many parents find themselves unable to initiate or sustain it? There is a pervasive myth that because breastfeeding is natural, it must be easy. In reality, a newborn has to learn how to simultaneously suck, swallow, and breathe in perfect rhythm, which takes intense practice. Simultaneously, the mother is expected to provide immense physical endurance while recovering from the exhaustion of childbirth or healing from major surgery following a cesarean section. When a mother attempts to manage this grueling physical process in isolation, the likelihood of sustained success drops. Biological efficiency requires a sociological foundation. The solution relies on Saja Zimandari, the understanding that it takes a village. Successful breastfeeding requires shifting the physical burden of care outward, creating an expanding circle of support around the mother. The first rim of support is the partner or designated coach. Their tactical role is to grab supplies, physically assist with the baby's latch, and burp the newborn so the mother can focus on the feed. The second ring includes extended family and neighbors. By absorbing all household chores, cooking, doing laundry, and cleaning, they ensure the mother's only responsibilities are resting and feeding. The final ring extends into institutions. Returning to the workplace should not force a mother to stop breastfeeding. This requires institutional support through paid maternity leave, compliant employers, and access to safe private lactation rooms. Building these structures pays distinct economic dividends. For every single dollar invested in breastfeeding promotion and support, society sees an estimated $59 in economic return through lower healthcare costs and higher workforce productivity. This resolve, Haumata Sankalp, protects the individual health of the child and returns massive value to the national economy by securing the cognitive and physical potential of the next generation.